Hey, do you think you can use additional working capital for your business? If so, stay tuned because in today's video, I'll go over what you need to do to take advantage of the next round of PPP money, what we're calling PPP Round 3. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am your host, Leo Landaverde, business coach, outsource CFO, and commercial lender, helping you scale your business. If you're ready to grow your business to 7 figures and beyond while creating the financial freedom and the lifestyle you want, then don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe to my channel, and you'll be notified every week when new content comes out. I have fantastic news. Any minute now, Congress may approve what may become the very last round of the PPP program with this massive bill that is in works right now. In fact, I have an article here dated Sunday, December 20th, yesterday. So what it says is, after months of partisan wrangling, on December 20th, 2020, congressional negotiators finally agreed to a new $900 billion COVID relief package, which includes an additional $284 billion for the Paycheck Protection Program, also known as PPP, for small businesses, created under the original coronavirus aid relief. Now, if you remember back in April, how long did it take for the PPP funds to run out? It took about 2 weeks to use up $349 billion. So here is what you need to know, and this video will focus on the things that you need to know so you can get in line to get your money. Here is what we know. Here are the 7 things we know now about what may be signed into law. Number 1, $284 billion set aside for the PPP program of the $900 billion. That's important because in the first round, there were $349 billion that were used up in 2 weeks. So $284 billion seems like a lot of money, but I guarantee you it will be gone in a week or less. Number 2, year-over-year revenue loss. So there's been a lot of debate in Congress as to how much of a loss do you need to have as a business owner to be able to trigger additional PPP funds. So the latest is that 30% or more loss on any quarter in 2020 as compared to any quarter in 2019. The borrower, this is what the language says right now. The borrower must demonstrate that there was a 30% reduction from gross receipts of the entity during the same quarter in 2019. So for instance, Q2 was bad for most. So if you're between April 1st and June 30th, 2020, your revenue was 30% less than in Q2 2019, you have a shot. Number 3, you have less than 300 employees. And I think that most small businesses will qualify. What happened last time around is that the big banks took, really work exclusively with the larger clients. Why? Because they have larger loans and they got a percentage of those commissions. But this time around, if you have more than 300 employees, you won't be able to take part of it. So that's good news. Number 4, forgivable expenses are expanded to include supply costs and investments in facility modifications and personal protective equipment, PPP, to operate safely. So that was not part of the first or second rounds of PPP money. If you go outside, if you notice, particularly restaurants have invested lots of money to make sure that their patrons are coming in, their customers can actually sit outside, not inside, but outside, but under covered patios. That is a very expensive proposition. You're gonna be able to acknowledge that, and it's gonna be used for that. Number 5, more streamlined process for loans $150,000 or less. Now, what we have today in law is that any loan of $50,000 or less basically gets to do an attestation. Now, a lot of banks have not really processed the PPP forgiveness for rounds 1 and 2 because they were waiting to see what was going to happen on round 3. Well, right now as it stands, if you have a loan that is $50,000 or less, and if you were to proceed with a PPP application today, well, you would have to do the 3508S form, which is the very shortest form, which is basically saying, I hereby. It's basically kind of an honor system. Now, you may be audited, but it's a very simple process. Now, the same may be true if when it gets signed into law, the same will apply to the loans that 150,000 or less. So if you were to get 150,000 or less, you go through an attestation process, which is really, really good news for small business owners. So number 6, set aside for small businesses with less than 10 employees. Now this is big. Now remember what I said at the outset, that the first round, round 1 and round 2, the big banks work with their biggest customers. Well, no more, because there will be set aside for businesses, which is the ones who need it the most are those small businesses that have 10 employees or less. So those will rise to the top of the queue. Number 7, includes repurposing of the $138 billion of unspent PPP money from the last round. So if you remember, there was a second round after the first round, and then there was money left over. So Congress didn't know what to do with that. So now if you add the $284 billion to the $138 billion, now we have a pretty large chunk of money that will be set aside for small business owners. You do have a chance. And it doesn't matter if you receive a first round or a second round, and it doesn't matter if you have multiple entities. Okay, on to the exciting thing. Here's what you need to do. As we've been saying, money will run out fast. So as of today, if it is signed into law today or tomorrow, probably this week during Christmas time, it will be signed into law by the president. And if that's the case, this is a race to the finish. Whoever gets on the queue before, it basically is first come, first serve. Your name is not in the list, you're out. You're out of luck. So you really can't afford to wait for the bigger banks, because I guarantee you that a lot of banks, the big banks, and some of the smaller community banks will not take part in it. The reason for that is that some of the biggest banks are still squabbling with the SBA with monies that they're still owed, or they say that they're still owed. So because of that, they may have this bitter taste. So don't rely on your Bank of America, Chase, your Wells Fargo banks or Citibank to rescue you, because they may not take part in it. So, but I have good news. My firm has partnered up with a big lender that specializes in originating and servicing PPP loans. The good news for you that they have a direct link with the SBA, and this is what they do, and this is what they do best. So I only need 3 pieces of information from you to get on the queue, and you gotta act quickly. Number 1, your business legal name. Number 2, business owner's email address, which is your email address. Number 3, your business EIN or social security number in case you don't have an EIN. So again, number 1, your business legal name. Number 2, your email address, you have to be a business owner. Number 3 is your EIN number. Here's what you'll get. White glove PPP loan servicing by our partners. You get an online portal that will make your loan application and forgiveness easy. You'll be updated throughout the application process on your loan status. You get real-time support and standby ready to help you. And last but not least, highly trained experts reviewing your origination and forgiveness applications. So don't wait, act now. Hey, please comment below and let me know if you're a business owner and interested in getting additional PPP money. I can help you. Also, if you want to join a community of like-minded successful entrepreneurs just like you, then join our Facebook group at the link below, where I share tips, tactics, and strategies on how my clients are growing their businesses to 7 figures and beyond.